Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 19 of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto failed his Genin test and was given intense training over on Anime King. And also guys, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was too advanced for his age over on Anime King 2, so go ahead and enjoy that. And if you're new, yes, you heard that correctly, I do have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime King, which I post on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, we start off with a flashback of when Naruto was younger. His young child mind was just curious, as he knew that Tsunade was inside the bathroom, as he made his way and stopped there. Not to mention Jiraiya warping the boy's mind and turned him into a pervert as well, because Jiraiya would have done the same thing. But Naruto ended up getting caught, as Tsunade was gonna murder him. He told Jiraiya to run. As they were leaving the town immediately, Jiraiya was confused, but the kid told him that they need to get out of here. The moment they exited the hotel, they saw a fuming Tsunade tearing down the entire place coming after them. And they indeed run, as Naruto had used a tree as an escape route by making it grow in a large area to block Tsunade from capturing them, as they hid. And Naruto hoped that by the time they met again, she wasn't so pissed. Well, he was wrong, as we escaped back to the present time. Tsunade was trying to kill him, as she attacked him rigorously. As Naruto made a deal with her, as he gave her Sake from Mount Miyaboku, and indeed the Toad Sake was the best Sake in the world, as Tsunade had calmed herself seeing that she got something that she wanted. As they talked to her about the position of being Hokage, but she completely threw that off and she started to insult the third, which made Naruto angry, really angry. His father and the third was a Hokage. She didn't have the right, as that caused an argument between them as he went outside to fight. Tsunade completely shrugging him off. She was gonna beat the crap out of him, and not to mention, seeing that he spied on her all those years ago. Jiraiya and Tsunade went out there as well, as the both of them started battle. In her drunken haze, as she thought that Naruto was nothing but a little punk that she could take care of rather easily. Quick movements, Naruto was able to bind her down to the ground. She was yelling as he gagged her mouth. That was a scene that Jiraiya came upon. Jiraiya was praying for Naruto, praying for his safety, because he had no idea what he just did and how much the trouble has magnified. As Naruto sat down and spoke to Tsunade, one of those speeches that just seemed to rock people's entire foundations. She got up after the speech as he had freed her, but she punched him hard, knocking him silly, as that was for tying her up, and she kicked him for peeping on her, as he asked her if she was not coming back. She told him that she needs some time to think, but at least she didn't say no. At Konoha, Sasuke was furious, as Hinata had lied to him. That is how he saw it. Hinata had went to the hospital, as Kakashi had been placed under illusion by Itachi, and he put him in a rather bad state. And Sasuke was furious as she did not tell him. That is why she was training with him for the entire time, and they were sparring because she wanted to keep him away from there. But she told him that she did to protect him, as she didn't want him to get hurt going after his brother. But he was too furious to listen, as she told him that she would be by her compound if he wants to continue the sparring. It took him some time, but he calmed down as he went to talk to her at the compound, as she smiled, happy that he came to visit. As the both of them continued their sparring, as Sasuke realized she was right, as he knew that he wasn't even stronger than Naruto. So the hell was he gonna defeat Itachi, who defeat Kakashi? He decided to keep himself calm for the moment. Getting stronger was the main priority right now, and that is what he intended to do. Time passed as Shizune rushed to Naruto, saying that Tsunade had went to Orochimaru. Naruto was shocked by that as Jiraiya came stumbling in the room, as he was at the window the entire time his body in a rather bad state because of what Tsunade put in his drink last night when he drank. As they made their way towards the scene to see Tsunade on the ground, as blood was splashed over her, the hemophobia was acting up. Orochimaru called out to Kabuto, but it was too late, as Naruto sliced the man's arm clean off, forcing Kabuto to leap back as he quickly applied medical chakra to his arm. Naruto went quiet, confusing Orochimaru, as he thought that Naruto would be shouting at him, especially for killing the third by now, but Naruto simply went quiet. He did not speak, he did not move, as Jiraiya felt the ground shaking as it then exploded outwards. A wall, a rather large wall that surrounded the entire area, trapping all of them inside. As Shizune rushed over to Tsunade to help her, Orochimaru looked around, as the wall had went deep underground, and it was spacious, as Naruto told Orochimaru that he would not flee this time. Orochimaru merely scoffed. Jiraiya looked like he was in no position to fight. He would just kill Naruto then, as Naruto let it release. As he went into his cosmic mode, he felt the energy flaring through his body. His eyes turned purple, as his body started to pulsate with unnatural energy, cracking the ground as he stood. At Konoha, as Rimuru had felt it, his master, using that power once again, he flew off towards the direction as Naruto gripped Viper and charged towards Orochimaru. So yeah guys, those basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So just to begin this new episode, a massive stone was hurled right towards the towering wall, slamming into it. As the stone broke apart, a few chips and cracks appeared on the wall, but it was not really affected. Told you it wouldn't work, fat ass to the voice. 4 people were standing outside the wall as they looked at the triumphant wall above them. As Jirobo looked towards Teiwaya, language he said. "Screw you," she said. As Seikon turned towards them, "This is no time for argument," he said. Orochimaru had the foresight of bringing the sound ninjas here just in case, as he knew that Naruto and Jiraiya was in the vicinity. With his weakened arms, he knew that they were coming towards Tsunade, and he did not trust his cunningness to get him out of every situation. So he brought them instead. Either they could fight as he escaped, be used as decoy, or perhaps they did something useful and kill Naruto and get him off his back once and for all. But he brought them. "Let's just scale the damn thing," said Teiwaya. Seikon walked up towards the wall. "I told you already," he said, as he placed his hand on it. He tried to apply chakra to his hand, but his chakra just backfired on him. "Somehow this wall is preventing me from using any chakra on it, and I'm guessing it's the same for all of you," he said. Kinemar fired one of his sticky webs as it stuck right on the wall, as he watched as it just peeled off and fell. Who the hell even made this thing? I never heard of a jutsu like this before that repelled chakra in this way and my attacks. Just because my webs are saturated with chakra? "I bet it's that Naruto freak," said Teiwaya. "Remember what Lord Orochimaru told us, that whatever that kid is, he's different from normal people. So I bet he's behind this." "So what now?" said Jirobo. "Well, we can't go under, seeing that he go directly down to the ground," said Seikon. "So I guess we're just gonna have to climb it the natural way." Teiwaya looked up. Really?" she said, as it was a rather long drop if they did. Well, they could apply chakra to their body, but still. Chakra wouldn't work on the wall, so they have to scale it normally. Good enough for them, it wasn't clean, perfect, that meant it was not flat. It had cracks and curves in it so they could hold on to broken areas. Orochimaru Sama tasked us with coming here. "We are his elite bodyguards, no exception," said Seikon. As with that, they started the climb. Meanwhile, boom! An explosion threw Orochimaru back as he smashed into the ground. Standing there in all his glory was Naruto Uzumaki, his body cloaked in that purple energy, as steam was rolling off his skin. But despite that, he was panting. It was really hard to maintain this form, whatever it was. This was the second time that he entered this form. He had tried it when he was training, but he he was lacking something, and now he realized what it was. Anger. To push him over the edge, seeing Orochimaru did it. But Naruto could feel his body getting weaker and weaker. This form granted him immense speed. Speed that he couldn't even comprehend at his normal state, and strength that was even beyond Jiraiya. Yes, that is how powerful he was right now. But it sapped his energy so quickly that he get tired. His legs literally wobbled as he stepped forward. But he snapped himself back into focus, digging deep for the cosmic energy, as he could not let it run out now. Orochimaru slit right out of his mouth. There was a massive wound in his shell. The skin that he left behind, as the entire chest cavity was carved up, as Naruto blade had really did a number on him. The Kusanagi was broken to pieces, as Naruto Viper blade was 10 times stronger than that. As the blade glistened with a purple energy, Kabuto shot for the scalpel on his arm. As he just had one, he swung it towards Naruto with duck. His reflex and speed had magnified by at least 100. As Kabuto was moving slow to Naruto, Kabuto twisted his hand and brought it down. As Naruto leaped to his side before bringing his foot up as Kabuto ducked. Naruto smashed his foot in the ground as Kabuto leaped away. As Kabuto came towards Naruto from behind as he slashed, only for Naruto to turn and bring his blade up. The chakra scalpel sliced against Reaper, but Kabuto cried out in pain. Instead of Reaper getting destroyed, his pinky finger and his ring finger got sliced off. He jumped back as he could not hold it with his other arm because it was gone. Naruto reached towards Orochimaru. As he stabbed Reaper in the ground, he reached towards Kabuto. He intensified their attractive pull towards each other. Orochimaru was yanked off his feet as he was thrown violently. Kabuto did the same thing. The both of them tried to slow down. Orochimaru opened his mouth as 100 snakes exploded from the man's throat. They swarmed the entire area, blasting all around as Naruto leaped up into mid-air. He then realized something as he turned his head. The snake was going towards the others. Orochimaru smiled, a distraction, he thought. But Naruto simply smiled back, caused Orochimaru's smile to falter as he grabbed Reaper and swinged it. A crescent blade slash came out of Reaper and ripped every snake apart. As Naruto shot off the ground, breaking under his feet, he leaped as he pounced right on Orochimaru. Orochimaru brought up the Kusanagi as he forced his chakra into it, making it extend, as the blade had just regrown out of nothingness, just his chakra and his will. As Naruto was right in the path, the blade slammed right into Naruto's stomach. Orochimaru waited to hear that sick, twisting sensation, that feeling you want to feel it as metal sliced through flesh. But he did not. I told you if I ever saw you again, I'll kill you, said Naruto. But I never got to face you in the Chunin exams, I was busy. But I promise you this, Orochimaru. You will not leave here alive, said Naruto. As Orochimaru blinked, as he saw Naruto completely unarmed. As Naruto grabbed the blade, literally holding on to the blade, as he twists, snap, the blade broke as he threw Reaper at Orochimaru. Orochimaru tilted his head as Reaper stabbed into the ground, as Naruto disappeared in a burst of speed, as he grabbed his blade handle and sliced, tearing through Orochimaru's back. He jumped up and kicked him in the side of the head as he launched him. Orochimaru crashed on the ground violently. As he stopped, he started to cough. Orochimaru knew that something was wrong, as he couldn't understand it. Despite his arms being wounded, he was supposed to be far stronger than this, to at least handle a mere brat. You finally noticed, haven't you, said Naruto. As Orochimaru blinked, he then noticed the veins, the purple veins. This blade is quite special, said Naruto, especially against people who I really hate. That thing that is coursing through your veins right now is cosmic energy. But not the good kind. This one seemed to be quite destructive. It's literally leaking off the blade, as you can see. Orochimaru then noticed the energy just seeping from the blade, and he noticed the grass at Naruto's feet start to blacken. What is that? He said. You can say it's a kind of poison, said Naruto. I mean, think about it, aren't you a Sanin? But yet you can't even land a proper hit on me. You're slowing down, you're getting weaker and weaker the longer this fight drags on. So I won't even have to kill you directly. I'll just have to hold you until you die on your own. Orochimaru snarled. Kabuto, he said. Kabuto jumped to his side. As Kabuto nodded as he bit his finger. As he wiped the blood on Orochimaru's arm as he went through one-handed seals. Summoning Jutsu, there was a massive poof as a giant snake appeared. Meanwhile, over to the side, Jiraiya bit his thumb as he went through hand sign. Summoning Jutsu! Poof. Hey, what's up? Jiraiya blinked. Gemikichi, what are you doing here? You summoned me. Jiraiya cursed. My chakra is still all messed up, he said. I can't. Jiraiya-sama, can Naruto really handle something like that? As Jiraiya tried to move forward, but he staggered to one knee as he panted heavily. He was still in a rather bad state and his chakra hadn't fully replenished yet. Damn it, Tsunade, he said as he looked towards the woman. Her eyes were no longer on the ground, she was looking over towards Naruto. Orochimaru, said Manda. I hope you have the 100 sacrifice for me. Or else, I'll be taking you as my sacrifice. Don't worry, Manda. I'll get them to you as soon as possible. Just help me kill this brat. What? This insignificant brat? That is what you call me for? Are you getting that pathetic, Orochimaru? Orochimaru wanted to snarl, but he did not. Knowing Manda, it would just be bad for him later. But he wanted to get the hell out of here and purge his poison from his system. Because he noticed, even when he had shed his skin, the poison never left him. This thing was sticking with him and he had to get out of here before he died, as he could feel his body getting weaker and weaker. Not to mention his kid, speed had triple, its strength had triple as well. Meanwhile, the group outside was still scaling the wall, as it kept on breaking the more they scale it, so they kept on falling back down most of the time. But they were making good progress, until they saw something soar over their head. As something flew straight down, diving into a bomb. Manda turned around as he looked up as he hissed, only for something to slam right into his mouth, throwing him to the side as he smashed into the wall. Manda picked himself back up as he snarled to what had just hit him. Standing there was none other than Orochimaru. He was in his fox form, but his tail was replaced with a giant fist, yes, an arm, that he had just slammed into Manda's face. Orochimaru, what the hell are you doing here? Said Naruto. I sense that you need my help, master. As Orochimaru said that, Naruto fell to one knee as he started to pant, as Orochimaru rushed over the arm, picking Naruto back up as he held him gently. How are you doing this? Recently, with experiments, I've learned I could change a single part of my body into something else. Karen, help me find out about this, along with Haku's aid. That's good, said Naruto. Are you okay, master? Naruto's eyes shined purple once more. I'll be fine. Let's just kill this bastard. You take the snake. I'll take the smaller one. Orochimaru nodded as his body started to grow. His nails started to elongate, his fangs started to get larger. As he roared, his body looking more like a tiger than a fox now. 3 tails emerged behind him as all of them had hands. They had hands at the tip of them. Well, I guess I don't need to summon anything anymore, said Jiraiya. Jiraiya-sama, what is that? I'll tell you about it later, Suzune. Right now, I have to see how this plays out, said Jiraiya. As he moved forward, what's Tsunade? Jiraiya had to move forward just in case the kid needed any help, because he saw the kid drop on one knee a moment ago. Orochimaru got up as a feet slammed into his face, throwing him as he smashed head first in the wall. He pulled himself up as a hand grabbed his throat and slammed him into the ground. As Naruto twisted his blade and drive it down, only for a kunai to come towards his skull. Naruto's eye twitched as his kunai embedded right into his skull. As Kabuto thought that he had succeeded, but the kunai fell, and the end of it was broken. Kabuto didn't notice Naruto here. It looked grey. As Naruto was able to do the same thing like Orochimaru, but not with body parts. He could change the density of his body. Molecular changement, something that he found he could do recently, as he changed the structure and making his skin like steel. But it was hard to maintain as it vanished the next second later. He still need more training on that. Orochimaru used the momentum as he stabbed a white blade right through Naruto. As blood dripped from Naruto's mouth, A snake was coming from Orochimaru's mouth, and the snake had a blade in his mouth. Naruto looked down towards the blade that was protruding through his back. Orochimaru simply smiled. "Don't underestimate a Sanin, boy," he said, as he threw Naruto off of him as Naruto dropped to the ground. Orochimaru looked up towards the wall to see them wave and broke down, but they did not. "And you shouldn't have killed Jiji," said Naruto, "because you're not gonna leave here alive." The wound started to hiss. Literally, blood started to suck back into the wound. As it was gone, his skin perfectly unblemished. As Naruto tore off his ripped shirt, as he shot forward, his blade inching towards Orochimaru's neck. Orochimaru leaped as he ducked under the swipe that came next. He launched his foot out as it slammed right into Naruto's face as Naruto twisted his grip and slammed his foot right into Orochimaru's shoulder blade. As he twisted his blade and drive it through Orochimaru's leg, Orochimaru snarled as he brought his other heel down. Blam! It connected to the side of Naruto's head, knocking him backwards. As Naruto slammed his hands together, the ground started to rise. Before it dropped, as Orochimaru dropped, Naruto was underneath him in a second. As he smashed his fist into Orochimaru's stomach, the man's eyes went wide as Naruto kicked him away. He smashed against the wall once again. As Orochimaru dropped down, wheezing up blood, he panted as Naruto threw Reaper. Orochimaru saw the blade coming. He ducked to his side, but the blade froze in mid-air as Naruto controlled it with his telepathy. He then turned his hand as the blade stabbed through Orochimaru's stomach, pinned into the wall. Orochimaru opened his mouth as another Orochimaru slid out of it. The Orochimaru that came out, there wasn't on his feet as he was underground, wheezing for air. Kabuto leaped towards Naruto as Naruto ducked under his fists. Kabuto pulled a free kunai and drive it down. Naruto reached up and smashed his fist against it, breaking it to pieces. "I've had enough of you," he said. He reached forward and slammed his hand on Kabuto's chest. As a purple energy washed over Kabuto, Kabuto stepped back as he felt a burning pain coursing through his veins. He dropped towards his knees as he coughed up blood violently. Blood vessels started to pop. "What are you doing to me?" he said. "I'm roasting you from the inside," said Naruto. As Naruto's mind was focused despite him looking like he was ready for a fight, as he had to keep his mind directly focused on Kabuto, as he had sent a potent dose of cosmic energy inside of him. What Naruto learned was, despite him having cosmic energy from a goddess, it must have melded somewhat with his body or somehow, because it was different to other people. He had noticed that from the Forest of Death when he had faced off against those guys who had took Karin when he injected his nails into one of their head. It was actually cosmic energy that he pushed into the man, and it had rot him from the inside. It was dangerous on the outside, but when it got into your blood vessels, it ripped you apart. But one thing though, it just stayed stagnant. It would hurt you, but you could get rid of it. But Naruto was using telekinesis as he was controlling it, and he was spreading it inside of Kabuto's body. His control then faltered though as he dropped to his knees. As Naruto started to pant hard, Kabuto was gripping his chest as it had stopped, but it was still eating away at his flesh. Orochimaru slithered forward as he had a simple kunai. He was gonna kill Naruto right here and now. He couldn't leave him alive, he was too dangerous. As Orochimaru was getting close, Jiraiya quickly moved forward, but he was not fast enough. But at the last moment, Naruto gripped his blade as he swung. Kabuto looked up. "Orochimaru saw me," he said as he pushed Orochimaru out of the way. As Naruto's blade released a crescent slash. It was like a winged blade but 10 times stronger. As Kabuto was severed in half. His entire lower half sliced cleanly. Kabuto thought that he had enough time to get away after he pushed his master out of the way. But he did not. As Orochimaru crashed over to the other side. As Orochimaru's body was already exhausted, and Kabuto knew, after his third shedding skin jutsu, he could not do another one. Not to mention his already weakened form of having his hands sealed away. As Kabuto's lifeless eyes looked up to the sky, dead, Orochimaru heard a painful grunt. He saw Manda pinned down to the ground. As Rimuru opened his mouth and fire exploded from his throat. It was at that moment the team leaped over the wall. Rimuru incinerated Manda. to the point where his body did not even got back to the summoning world. Somehow, Rimuru had grabbed him so hard that his body refused to go back despite him suffering immense damage. All of them watched as Tsunade headlong snapped out of her haze to watch Rimuru completely incinerate Manda for good. Rimuru started to shrink back down. The cosmic energy flowing through him was running on low right now. As he went back into his fox form, Naruto-sama, I'm sorry, I can't aid you anymore. As he passed out, his energy was really low. Orochimaru started to flee as he saw the group came over the wall and they were coming down rather quickly. They didn't know what trap they got themselves in. Those idiots. This is not what you need them for. Naruto, said Jiraiya. As he was coming over, his body still moving sluggish, as Naruto could barely move as he watched Orochimaru getting away. No. Naruto-kun, a voice said in his head. It was a memory that he was remembering. As he saw the old man smile at him. You have surely improved. I'm so happy, Harrison said. You know, he told everyone to keep it a secret or else. He was really adamant on that. For all of them to shut their mouth. He didn't want you to suffer the fate as a Jinchuriki. He wanted you to live a normal life. So, it's thanks to the old man that everything worked out so perfectly. And he allowed me to take you despite that being a big flaw. I'll repay him by becoming the best ninja of Konoha and protecting the village and him as well. When he does retire, said Naruto. The life of a ninja is never determined, said Jiraiya. Well then I'll determine it, said Naruto. As Naruto's head snapped back up. No! He screamed! You are not getting away as he gripped Viper! Orochimaru turned as Naruto's blade stabbed right to his shoulder and threw him and pinned him up against the wall. Orochimaru struggled to escape, but he could not. Orochimaru's eyes started to flash in front of his eyes. The things that he hasn't done yet. Was this brat gonna kill him? Fat ass! Stop him, said Teiwaya as Drobo had made it down the quickest as he landed on his feet. Without much effort, Drobo went through hand sign as he picked up a massive stone. No, I am a Sanin, Orochimaru said. I refuse to be killed by a brat like you. As Naruto leaped forward and grabbed his head. You still don't care. I wish I could make you feel how he felt. To know that his student that he loved so much ended up killing him. You bastard! Soul manipulation. A voice said in Naruto's head, and he did as he told him. Orochimaru screamed as his body was enveloped in a purple glow. As something was happening to him, Drobo threw the stone as Jiraiya leaped in the way. Bam! His foot slammed into it as he focused what chakra he could to it, bursting the stone into pieces. Jiraiya winced in pain as he didn't focus enough, as he felt the harsh pain, but the stone did break. He landed on one foot, the other feet slumping down to the ground. He was sure a bone or something was broken in it. As Naruto finally stopped, he didn't know what just happened. Soul manipulation. Orochimaru's eyes looked at Naruto. As the man blinked, What have I done? He said. As Orochimaru saw himself killing the third with a blade. All the gruesome experiments that he'd done over the years. Orochimaru didn't know why, but he felt all of them on his conscience right now. The man started to scream at the inhumane things that he did. As Naruto ripped the sword out of his shoulder, Orochimaru dropped to his knees. He did not move. Do it. I deserve it. Sluts! Naruto wasted no time as he took the man's head clean off. Not even knowing that Orochimaru in the last moment of his life was changed by his own ability. But Naruto made a promise to the grave of the third that he will hunt him down and kill him. As Orochimaru's head was gone, as Naruto knew how tricky he was of bringing himself back even when it looked like he was dead, so he stabbed Reaper through the man's body. As the black veins pulsed and right through Orochimaru, tearing his lungs, his kidneys, his heart apart. As Naruto dropped down to the ground, an arrow was sent towards him, The arrow stabbed right into his shoulder as Naruto was thrown to the ground. Kill him! Jiraiya formed Rasengan as he leaped forward. As the Rasengan was puny in stature, he slammed it against Kidomaru, sword that he made out of that strange goo. The sword did not even break, it creaked though. As Seikon slammed into Jiraiya's shoulder weight, Jiraiya's feet came up though and smashed his head to the side, throwing the man back. Despite his weakness, he was still a goddamn Sanin. But the other two had managed to get past as Teiwaya reached for her flute. As Drobo picked up a massive stone to crush Naruto where he was. As Naruto could not move, his body was exhausted. He was weakened. The energy was gone. He was running on low. Steam was coming from his body, the purple glow no longer around him. As he watched as a massive stone was coming down towards him to squash him, Kurama, eyes open at that moment. As inside of his cell, the purple energy was everywhere, and it was refusing him to release his chakra. As that was the main deal, that is why Naruto was more controlled than more other Jinchuriki. The cosmic energy kind of restrained Kurama chakra a bit. As Kurama cursed, the brat was gonna uphold his end of the bargain, but this purple energy, can't you see I'm trying to save him, Kurama said. You want to get out of here. He did not know if he'd die, if his soul would be taken with Naruto, reason being. Half of him was split and he was not as strong as he used to be. He didn't even know if he could reform himself without his other half. And this damn seal like the fourth guy placed on him, but the purple energy was stopping him from doing so. That is why Naruto felt it. He was gonna die. There was no way out of this. He already knew that Kurama could not give him energy while he was using the cosmic energy. Well, at this level, using basic abilities would not stop Kurama from giving him energy or healing his wounds. But this cosmic mode, Kurama could not fuel his energy with it. He could not mix it. The cosmic energy just seemed to override all of Kurama's chakra and dissipate it at once. As the stone came down, Shizune felt something brush past her as she was already rushing over to Naruto to help him, to try and stop that stone from squashing him. But someone had brushed past her. No one was near her master, so she took the opportunity to help Naruto as well. But when she looked back, Tsunade was gone. BAM! Tsunade's fist destroyed the rock. Drobo leaped forward, thinking that he could match Tsunade in raw power. Tsunade ducked under his fist as she clenched her fist tight. Her fist connected with the bottom of his chin, and everything was gone. One punch knocked his entire light out. His body was thrown so far that he was sent sailing over the wall. A bit of too much energy, but still. He was just gonna kill Naruto, and she refused to let him do that. Teiwaya stepped back. Damn. Bitch, she said, as she reached for her flute, all for Tsunade to stomp in the ground. The girl fell down as the shaking maker fell. No, said Naruto. Tsunade's fist stopped inches away from the girl. As she glanced towards him, she's a Uzumaki. Don't kill her, said Naruto. Tsunade was confused. She looked at the girl right here. Even Teiwaya seemed confused as well, as Naruto could feel it from the moment he sensed those other four appeared. Just like Karen. On the other side, Jiraiya knocked away his two pursuers. Teiwaya reached up for her flute, but Tsunade chopped her in the back of the neck, knocking her out. Tsunade leaped over towards Jiraiya to help him. After all, she was the reason why he was in this state. That was the last thing Naruto saw before he passed out, as Tsunade and Jiraiya completely obliterated the other two. Seikon and Kidomaru didn't even stand a chance. Time skip. As Naruto was woken up by muffled screams and then coughing, a lot of coughing. You want to repeat that? As it was the voice of Tsunade, she sounded rather pissed at someone. Screw you, bitch, said a voice. As Naruto heard muffling screams once again, before he heard more coughing. Damn old hag. He heard a slap before he heard the muffled screams once again. As Naruto really had to see what the hell was going on, as he slowly opened his eyes fully, only to see the girl on the ground as she was coughing up bubbles. It looked like she had just swallowed a lot of soap. As Teiwai looked up and glared at Tsunade with daggers, like she wanted to rip Tsunade apart. As Naruto saw that Tsunade had a bar of soap in her hand, and a rag. "What's going on?" "You're weak," said Tsunade, as she placed away the objects rather calmly, looking at him with a sweet smile. As Teiwai glared at him. "Where am I?" said Naruto. "We're in a hotel in Tantakai," said Tsunade. As Naruto blinked as he looked around, confused to the arrangement with her in here. He remembered telling Tsunade not to kill her. But what was going on? "What are you doing to her?" said Naruto. "Oh, she's being rather rude. Not to mention her mouth is rather foul. And I told her if she keep on cursing like that, I would wash her mouth with soap. But she didn't believe me, so she kept on cursing. And I made good on my promise." As Naruto looked towards Teiwaya, who coughed out bubbles, he started to laugh. He couldn't help it seemed funny. "And what the hell are you laughing about, shithead?" she said. Naruto reached up towards his ear. "Shithead? No, that's a new one," he said. "Never been called that before. You really do have a full mouth, don't you?" "Shut it, piss for brain," she said. "Huh. Why don't you give her one more?" said Naruto. "Gladly. I'm just kidding," said Naruto, as he looked towards Tsunade. As Teiwai glared at him. "Your name is Teiwai, right? How do you..." "I just have this thing that I tell you about it later," said Naruto. He then looked towards her neck. "So you have one of those as well," he said, as he picked himself out of the bed, as the sheet fell off of him, as she saw his well-toned chest. For someone who was so young, he was Jack. But she shook that thought of her head. He was the enemy. Well, he killed Orochimaru, so what the hell was gonna happen now? "You should take it easy, kid. Your body was severely dehydrated in the beginning, until it just started to return back to normal. Whatever you did, it took a lot out of you." "Yeah," said Naruto. "How long have I been out?" "Couple of hours," she said. "Well, that's good." "How is that good?" she said. "Well, the last time it was a couple of days. I guess I'm getting stronger." "What are you talking about?" she said. "I'll tell you about it later. That's a promise. Given that you're gonna be the Hokage, you'll have to know everything." "I never said that I was gonna..." As Naruto looked at her. "Come on, really? Why would you even be here? You'd have been long gone if you declined the offer." She sighed. "Alright, fine. Seeing you fight today, I guess I changed my mind. Perhaps the village does need me, so I'll do it. I'll become the Hokage," she said. That brought a smile on Naruto's face. "I want that," he said. She looked towards her chest. "Why, you little..." No, said Naruto. "Your necklace." "What?" "Well, Shizune told me that you said that anyone that wore it, except for you, dies. But I'm gonna prove you wrong, because I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna become the strongest ninja this world has ever known. I'm gonna grow up and have a big happy family, and have a wonderful time. And people like you and Pervy Sage, all of you are gonna be there. And we're all gonna live until we get rather old, and be known as legendary ninjas when we pass on from old age, nothing more." You have quite the imagination there. A shinobi life, yeah, can never be determined. But give me that, said Naruto. I want to prove one of your other beliefs wrong. Tsunade looked unsure as Naruto walked over to her. I've already made you take the position because you must believe in me. After seeing what happened, it's the only way I can justify things. So let me change your mind for the last time about this. That it is not cursed. Tsunade looked him up and down. She took a breath. Fine, she said. I guess I can entrust it once again. She unhooked her necklace and placed her on his neck before giving him a kiss on the head. I'm gonna entrust this to you. As Naruto's eyes were wide open, seeing that she was kissing him on the forehead, he could see her breasts as they were rather close to his face. His instinct was telling him to fall on accident, for him to face plant right in them, but he was afraid that she would knock him back into unconsciousness. Cut this soppy crap. What about me? Said Teiwaya. Oh. As they turned towards her. I'm gonna bring you back to the village. And you're gonna become a part of my clan. Wait, what? She said. First thing first. Let's get rid of that, said Naruto as he moved forward and placed a hand on her neck. He had remembered quite clearly what happened to Uncle after a few days. Let's just say she just kept on thanking him over and over. She was really happy that she got rid of that mark, and it was all thanks to him. As he could literally feel a dark, corrosive energy pulsing through it as he touched it. Get your hand off me, you shithead, she said. Shh, said Naruto as he closed his eyes. As a bright purple light ensued. Oh, this might hurt, said Naruto. As Teiwaya screamed, Jiraiya and Tsunade then finally came into the room. As Tsunade was just standing there watching, having no idea what was going on. How did he know that she was a Uzumaki? Asked Tsunade. And what the hell is he doing? Well, there's a lot you need to know, said Jiraiya. But this kid is quite special. Special how? She asks. Well, being Hokage, you have, every single knowledge at your disposal. So I guess it was a good thing that you took the position, Jiraiya said that smile. Stop pushing your luck, pervert, she said, as he raised his hand in defense. Okay. As Naruto stopped, Teiwaya panicked on the ground. What did you do to me? Got rid of that mark, said Naruto, as he coughed. Black smoke coming from his mouth. Never realized it affected me in the first place. Well, he was quite hammered, uncle, so yeah. He then shook it off. How are you feeling now? She reached towards her neck. It's gone. Yep, said Naruto. Time skip. The group was making their way back to Konoha. Teiwaya was not bound. For one thing, Jiraiya was back to normal and she didn't stand a chance against Jiraiya. She couldn't beat Tsunade, and she could not beat Naruto, and with her curse mark gone, she couldn't even beat Chizune at the moment because she didn't even have her flute. But they left her to just walk. She could make a run for it, but what was the point? Going back to the inner sauna alone right now, confirming that Orochimaru was dead, and that the other Zone 4 was dead as well. Kimimaro would probably kill her out of revenge. Yes, that Orochimaru was dead, he would probably just kill her right there and then. So she didn't see the purpose of going back there anymore. And she always hated that snake bastard. Yes, he was Orochimaru-sama. She had to give him proper respect every time. But the way that he treated them, the Zone 4 especially, if they slip up once, it was always shown that they would get punished by being experimented on. He always made that very clear. But now his mark was gone from her. She was free. But she didn't know what to do with her life now. Until this blonde shithead came to tell her that she was coming back with him to be a part of the Uzumaki clan. Her mind was still railing about that. And how the hell could someone be so nice and furious on battlefield at the same time? That was just weird. He was an anomaly that she couldn't even figure out. But she was going along with it as she was going back to Konoha with them. This was strange. After all, she was there when the attack of the Hokage happened. Yet the shithead didn't seem to have any grudge against her. He killed Orochimaru and it looked like it ended there, along with Kabuto as well. As she didn't know what to think of this. Perhaps she will escape afterwards. She couldn't stay here, right? After all, he would soon come to hate her like everyone else did. And just use her for his purposes. And she was no one lapdog. No one. You alright, Soapy? Said Naruto. She glared at him. He was doing that to just piss her off, calling her Soapy. As Tsunade chuckled a bit at the head of the group. Bitch. What was that? Said Tsunade. Teiwaya turned her head, ignoring Tsunade. Next time, speak up loudly, said Tsunade. I told you, that full mode of yours won't work around me. I'll cleanse your mode properly next time. As Naruto started to laugh. Shut it, shithead. As Jiraiya looked towards him. You sure can pick them, kid, said Jiraiya. She's nice. She's just locked away her niceness over some rather nasty insults. Not to mention she's a part of my clan. How do you even know that I'm a part of this Uzumaki clan? Uzumaki, said Naruto. And I know. You were never told, seemed like your parents moved away before the destruction and had you later on. But we'll go about backstories when we get back to the village. The only good thing now is that you're safe and you're no longer with that mark. Naruto smiled at her. Don't worry, you're gonna love it there. And you're gonna meet a lot of new friends. Who said I want friends, she said. Just a hunch, said Naruto. As he continued walking, Tsunade looked towards him as Shizune smiled. He sure is nice, said Shizune, and yet fearsome at the same time. Yeah, said Tsunade. He was like Hoshirama and Tobirama. The Tobirama instinct came out when he was fighting, and the Hoshirama instinct came out when he was around his people that he cared about. As she watched a necklace around his neck. Perhaps he can be the one to stop the curse, once and for all, she thought to herself. With that, they arrive at the gates of Konoha. Yo, Naruto, said Katetsu, as Naruto was the first one that Katetsu saw. Hey there, Katetsu, Aizumo, said Naruto, as the both of them gave him a smile. Naruto has become quite popular lately after the things that he did. After all, waking up in the hospital with so many gift baskets. Yes, many people had wanted to see him, but the hospital was too packed. So doctors had to force him to leave, as everyone wanted to see if he was okay. He was fine, so everyone was told. His reputation would be getting a bigger boost when everyone found out that he was the one that killed Orochimaru. Yes, his reputation would surely skyrocket. It was then that Katetsu saw the large breasts. Yes, that was the first thing he saw. Seeing that it was more of her body, and when she moved it was kind of jiggling. The man's eyes went wide as Tsunade stepped in front of the village. She looked over. It hasn't changed that much, she said. Shizune smiled. Who's this? Said Katetsu, snapping out of his trance as he looked towards the girl beside Naruto. Oh, she's my girlfriend, said Naruto. What? I'm not your girlfriend, shithead. Colorful language, huh? Said Naruto, as he just did on purpose. Stop screwing with me, said Teiwaya, as Naruto simply laughed. What's going on? Asked Aizumo. Well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, or I don't know, but she's gonna become the new Hokage. It's gonna be official soon. So think of yourself as the upper ranks to know this before most people. Well, the counts already do. And I, and Jiraiya, and... Nah, I guess you're not that special. Katetsu eye twitch. I'm just kidding, said Naruto. Well then, we'll be taking a relief. Come on, darling. Naruto had to duck a punch that came towards his head. You hate that, don't you? You're gonna invite me into your clan house after mocking me. Keep on doing it, and I'll just murder you in your sleep, said Teiwaya. It was then that head poked out from Naruto's shirt as the head glared daggers at her. Rimuru, eyes narrowing as Rimuru looked at her with a snarl. Do not threaten Naruto-sama life, as he had just woken up. He had woken up before, but he had went back to sleep. And what the hell are you gonna do to me? Rimuru crawled out of Naruto's jacket as he jumped down towards the ground. It was then that Naruto turned. Rimuru, stop, he said. She might have her bad words, but she'll warm up soon. She's not a foe anymore. Are you sure we can trust her, Naruto-sama? She doesn't look that kind, not like the others. Don't worry, we'll sort all of that out, said Naruto. As you wish. As he jumped back into Naruto's jacket. Teiwaya blinked. She was curious. Where the hell did he go, she asked. As Naruto looked at her. What? As she noticed that Naruto's jacket didn't have any bulge into or anything. So where did he go? Magic, said Naruto. Screw you, shithead. As Naruto laughed at that. Time skip. Teiwaya was being directed towards the Uzumaki estate. As she looked towards her shoulder. Why are you the one leading me there? Because Naruto-sama isn't finished with his talks. And I'm his trustful servant. And I'll be watching over you. And if you try to attack or escape, I'll simply eat you. What? You're so small and scrawny. How exactly are you gonna eat me, she said. He looked towards her. Weren't you present for the fight between me and that snake? She blinked. No. She wasn't even focusing on that when he shrunk down, because she thought it was just a summon that poofed away. You... Yes. I'll simply devour you. She gulped, as she was now looking worriedly towards her shoulder. As long as you don't do anything out of the way, you shall be fine. But go against me, and I'll eat you, he said. She went quiet rather quickly. Was this thing serious? Now, you'll be meeting Karen and Haku. Two nice, lovely females. They have a completely different attitude from you. So treat them with respect, or else. Or else what, she said. Despite her fear, she was still Teiwaya, who talked back to people when she feel like. Oh, haven't I made myself clear? I'll eat you, said Rimuru. I do not like you, he said to her. And why the hell should I care? The reason is, when Naruto-sama trusts someone, he trusts them cold-heartedly. And you. I think that you will hurt him. What? Warn about your boyfriend, she said. Boyfriend? Naruto-sama is Naruto-sama, not boyfriend, he said. But, as I was saying, Naruto-sama trusts people. And when he does, he gives them his full trust. And sometimes left his guard wide open between them. The people we trust, and you will do the same for you soon enough. So if you do anything out of the way, I won't hesitate to remove you from his life. I don't care. It's not like I want to be here anyway. But you will. Now be quiet. Screw you, furball, she said. Screw you back, redhead. Was that supposed to be an insult, she said. Of course, my hair is red. But you call me furball. I have furry skin. And it's white. So you are the stupid one, said Rimuru. She glared at him. But she did not throw him off her shoulder. Here's the place. Meanwhile, Naruto was in the office along with Jiraiya and Tsunade as Tsunade was sitting on the chair. Shizune had went out, as she wanted to see what the secretary had been up to, seeing as she will be taking over as Tsunade advisor. Tsunade had just spoken to the council not for too long, but they would talk again soon. But she just came here to see how the office was and how everything was in state. So, how are you liking your job so far? Tsunade eyebrow twitched. You know how much paperwork is undone, she said, and how much things I have to do? I'm surely gonna blow my brains out. Don't worry, you get a hand of it soon enough, said Naruto, as he smiled towards her. Don't smile at me. You don't know what the hell I'm gonna go through now because of all these paperwork. Well, Bachan, said Naruto. A smile came on Tsunade's face. I really hope that you will hold your mouth. What do you mean, said Naruto. Well, think about it. Remember the last time we spoke to each other? And I told you that if I indeed became Hokage, I would make your life a living hell with nothing but D-rank missions. And yet you peep on me that day. But I gave you sake. Naruto turned. Jiraiya was long gone, as he had leaped through the window. Traitor, said Naruto. I gave you sake. Oh yes, and you still have to send them coming, or I will make your life nothing but hell. Naruto gulped. Just the axe, with what he said. Oh, well, perhaps you'll be the only Jonin in history that still walk dogs and clean the kennels. You wouldn't, said Naruto. Tsunade stepped forward, an impressive bust, nudge him back as he slammed right into his face. It's not a bad feeling at all. But he looked up at her with a defiant glare. Try me, she said. You old... Naruto hold his mouth. All what, she said, with a smirk on her face. He jumped through the window as Tsunade laughed. She sat down in the chair and just laughed. Maybe it wasn't a bad idea accepting the deal. After all, everything seemed to be going well. And that little kid was a lot of fun. Know this damn paperwork. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next part, so do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.